Hey guys, welcome to this video. Today we are going to be filming my 2021 TBR, and by no means is this every book that I intend to read in 2021, but this is all the books that I own that I currently have not read. Some of these books I have had for years, so we'll see if I actually get around to them this year. I kind of wanted to film this video just because it's kind of interesting to look back on and see at the end of the year what books I had on my TBR, what books I acquired, and what books were still on it after several years. And I kind of like what the channel Drinking by My Shelf does, where she kind of tallies up the books that she has. So she has her starting amount of books on her TBR, and then the books that she's acquired and the books that she's read, and she tries to get the number down every month. And I think I want to try to do that because I feel like it's a good incentive to read the books that I already own instead of buying more books. But I think during holidays like Christmas and birthdays, I'll give myself a pass if my TBR grows, because sometimes I'm gifted books and I can't read as many books as I'm gifted. So I just thought I would put this video out since it is almost New Year. Today is the last day of 2020. I'm excited to go into 2021. So let's just get to it. So first, I'm going to start with the books that I'm hoping to read this month. So the first book is Swapping Lives by Jane Green. I will have a whole video about the next couple books because I ordered a mystery box online and decided that I would have to read the 5 books that they shipped to me regardless of what, like, if they're books that I want to read. This is one that's kind of like interesting synopsis, but like not really something I would pick out for myself. So yeah, I think I'm about halfway through with this, so I should be able to finish it this month. The next one that also came in that box is the Nanny Diaries. Again, something I would not typically pick up on my own. And then we have Summerland, something I really would not pick up on my own. I never pick up books about sports because it's just not my thing. I actually don't know that I've read any, so it's hard for me to say it's not my thing, but I don't really like movies about it. Like, we have all those old like baseball movies and hockey movies. I don't know. They're okay, but they're just not my first choice. And then I'm going to participate in the Buzzwordathon that Books and Lala is doing. If you don't know about that, go check out her channel. Basically, there's a new word or theme for every month, and you have to read a book fitting the theme for that month, or you could read several books. It's up to you. I'm just going to try to do one book because some of them, I don't currently own any books that fit the theme or the word, so I'm going to have to buy books. But the first one, the word that needs to be in the title is dream. So I'm going to read Once Upon a Dream. This is one that I've actually had on my TBR for a few years. I think it was gifted to me, or it was my sister's book and she didn't want it, so she gave it to me. So it's just been sitting on my shelf, but now I'll be able to read it. The next one that's kind of more of a, if I have time, realistically, I read maybe 3 or 4 books at most a month, but if I have time, I'm going to continue Into the Water. I kind of put this on hold as I was doing the mystery box stuff, so I would like to continue this. I think I'm almost 100 pages into it. I was liking it, but it'll probably take me some time to get back into it and remember what on earth was going on. So the next 2 books are books that I've already started reading and just need to finish. Probably not going to get to them in January, but maybe February or something. So the first one is Eldest. And unfortunately, I started this a long time ago. Over a year ago. Maybe 2 years ago. I read the first book in the series. It was fine. It was good, not like my favorite, and then I started reading this and I don't know why, but I fell off, and then I started reading other books and I went through like a major reading slump where I hardly read anything at all. So I need to finish this. Honestly, I'm not very far, so I might just like start from the beginning to kind of remember what's going on. And I definitely need to read a synopsis on Eragon because otherwise I'm not gonna know what's happening. According to the sticky note though, I'm only 16 pages in, so definitely we'll probably just restart the book. The next book is this Best Loved Short Stories of 19th Century America. And yes, this was actually a textbook. It was a book that my mom had to read, or at least read some of the stories of, when she was in college. And when I was in high school, or maybe just starting college, she was about to throw it away. And I was like, no, I'll read that. Still haven't read it. I do like some of the stories that are in here because I have had to read them for classes and I really like them. But the other stories I'm not really familiar with. Honestly, like, they're not that hard to read. I just need to sit down and actually read it, you know? That was my cat, if you could hear that. The next book is Winnie et the Pooh. So this is actually a book written in Latin that I bought myself shortly after finishing my full year course of Latin in university. Can I read it now? I don't know, but I kind of want to, just as like a challenge, one day sit through and try to read it. Some of these things, looking at it, yeah, I do understand, but will I grasp the full meaning? Maybe not. Fortunately, in the back there is a glossary, so that will be helpful, but I have a feeling I'll be using a Latin dictionary to also try to figure it out. Maybe one day, if you guys want it, I will sit down and spend the entire day trying to read this and annotating it, and we'll see how that goes. So the next books are actually ones I got for Christmas, and it is this series. So it is Renegades, Arch Enemies, and Supernova. Honestly, I don't know a lot about the series, but I requested it because I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and people wanted gift ideas, and books are an easy thing to request because they are relatively, I mean, they can be expensive, but this set was only like $20–25 for the 3 books, which isn't bad at all. I have a tower of books and my cat is trying to climb on top. They're gonna fall on top of you, bud. Want to say hi? Okay, so let's continue now that we've had our cat break. I feel like I lost a book. I did lose a book. It's up there. I somehow managed to leave one book on my shelf. So that is Inkheart, and then I also have Inkspell and Ink Death. These are books, again, that I've had on my shelf for a really long time. I feel like there's something I would like. I just haven't gotten around to reading them yet. Then there is Grace in Thine Eyes. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. I went through a phase where I read a lot of historical fiction and a lot of historical fiction romance, which is like a lot of the shelf right here. And that was in like junior high, early high school. And that's when I bought this book. And I think I bought this book as I was kind of coming out of that phase and starting to move into more contemporaries and fantasy. So this is one of the books that, honestly, as we're going into the next year, I've been tempted to just get rid of and give away, but I'm gonna hold on to it for now. And maybe if I don't get to it by the end of this coming year, I will get rid of it because I've had it for years and years and years. And then we have Sinner. This is a Ted Dekker book. If you don't know who he is a Christian author. He writes a lot of like suspenseful thrillers and stuff, and I've loved a lot of his books. The problem that I'm having with his books recently, though, is that I feel like they get kind of repetitive, and I don't know if it's just his writing style or the twists that he puts in his books, but I've just read so many of his books because I've been such a fan of his books since like I think high school was when I started reading his books, that I feel like I've just read so many that I know what's going to happen. I know the tropes that he writes. So I just feel like they're not as exciting as they used to be, but he is a really good author. So there's this, and then I have the other 2 books in the trilogy in hardcover somewhere in this stack. Then there is The School of Good and Evil. Again, this is one I actually bought a while ago, and it's a middle grade. But at the time that I bought it, I had heard some people saying really good things about it, saying how they really liked it. But now there's like several books in the series, and I just don't know if I want to commit to that. But maybe I will. I don't know. yeah, basically, if I remember correctly, it's just that, I mean, it's a school of good and evil, so you have villains and princesses and stuff that are going to the school, and that's basically the synopsis. I've always been really into the academia style books, and so I think that's why this intrigued me. And the thing about my TBR is I have several books that are a part of a series, and so while I'd like to say I could read all of these books in this year, the fact that a lot of them have like 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 other books in the series, and once I just get started reading a series, I like to just read it through so I don't forget what's happening, means that the chances that I read all of these books is relatively low. So the next is another Disney book. It is A Whole New World. This is like the Aladdin version of Once Upon a Dream. I don't know a whole lot about these books. It was gifted to me. The next book is Dare to Lead. So this is, I don't know that I would call it a self-help book, but it's about leading. And I actually got it from work. There was a seminar thing that I attended, and they had so many free copies to give away. And I emailed and say, hey, I'd like a free copy, and they sent me one. So we have it. I haven't read it yet. It's a relatively short book. It's not even 300 pages, so it shouldn't take too long to read, but it's kind of fun to read things like this every once in a while. I say fun, but it's just kind of nice to break up all of the fiction. Then we have Winter. I have read literally every other book in this series except this one. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the series, but I've never been a huge sci-fi fan, and I know that this isn't like super sci-fi-ish. I don't know. It's an okay series. I wouldn't say that I absolutely love them and they're the best series ever, but they're good. The next book that I'm really excited to read and I got for Christmas is A Deadly Education. Again, you know, I'm just one of those people that likes to go into things not knowing what they are. I don't really watch movie trailers for that reason. I just like to be surprised. And I feel like sometimes movie trailers and I don't know what the plural of synopsis is, but sometimes the synopsis kind of gives away what's going to happen in the book, and so if I can avoid knowing too much, I will. But this is like an academic book. I believe the sequel is supposed to come out this year, so I would like to read this earlier in the year if possible. Another book I got for Christmas is The Lost Causes of Bleak Creek. This is a book that was written by Rhett and Link. They have a YouTube channel. If you haven't heard of them, it's a really huge channel, and I've been watching them since high school. I used to watch them a lot. I now kind of just watch videos randomly as there are ones that appeal to me instead of watching them every single day because I have videos that come up pretty much every day. But I thought I'd give their book a try. I don't know how this will go just because I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what their writing style is like, so we'll find out. Another book I got for Christmas is Middle Game. I partially requested this because Books and Lala had recommended it and she really liked it. I also wanted it because it's written by Sean McGuire and he wrote the Wayward Children series, which I really loved. I don't know that this is anything like that, but I just liked his writing style, so hopefully I'll enjoy this. Next we have Thunder. Again, this is one that I've had on my TBR for a very long time. It was gifted to me one Christmas, oops. And this is one that actually has like, it's a long series. Not super long because the books aren't really long, but I believe there's like a prequel that's only like 50 pages, and then almost every other book is like a 50-page novella, I guess, and then you have like a larger book. So I'm gonna read this, we'll see how it goes, and decide from there if we're gonna read the rest of the series. The synopsis though is interesting. Yeah, I don't know, it has to do with like having a mark and being marked. Sorry if I'm not good about giving synopsises, but if I gave a synopsis for every single book, we would be here forever. The next book is Race for the Mind. So this book was actually given me again by work. On my first day there, they gave this to us, and I believe, I want to say that he works for my company, like he's one of the like higher ups, or he used to work at the company, or there was some connection like that. So they gave us this book, which was cool. I mean, I'm not going to complain when I start a new job and they like hand me a book. And it is fiction, but it's based on science. So kind of cool. The next book, which is a hunk, is Console Wars. I appreciate this book and I appreciate the thought behind this book, but I feel like it's something that's going to take me a really long time to get through. Because it's not, like, it's nonfiction, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, I'm trying to read the back. I'm pretty sure it's nonfiction. There's like a lot of dialogue and stuff looking in here, so I don't know. But it's basically just talks about a bunch of different consoles and stuff like that. It was a Secret Santa gift from my manager because our group did a whole Secret Santa thing. And he knows that I like to read and I like video games, so this is what he got me. Next, we have Brissinger. So of course, once I finish Eldest, I'll read this. And then I believe there's a fourth book, Inheritance, so I'll need to get my hands on that as well. And then I'm excited for the series, but this is one that, again, I just hear a lot of good things about it and I know absolutely nothing about it. But we have Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. And these, again, were gifted to me for Christmas. Again, I'm going to go into them kind of not knowing what's going on. At one point, I did read the synopsis and it intrigued me, and that was years ago, and now I don't remember what it was. So we're just going to go into it kind of blind. Then we have Ready Player 2, and I've heard some things about this, so I've purposely not looked at reviews. I did enjoy Ready Player 1. I want to say I gave it 4 stars. The movie was horrible. I did not appreciate the movie. But that's a whole other thing. So I got this book, and then I was talking to some friends and they were like, oh, like, really? You're gonna read that? And they're like, we've heard some things about how people feel about it. And I was like, don't tell me, because if I hate it, I'd rather hate it because I read it and I hate it than because I heard other people hate it. And then I hate it because they hate it, if that makes any sense. So we'll see how I feel about this book when I get around to reading it. As I said before, these are the 2 other books that go with Sinner, the paperback I showed you earlier, Showdown Saint, again by Ted Dekker. And then last but not least is The Princess Bride. And so I have this copy, which has some like illustrations and stuff in it. This is another one that I've had for quite a while. I just haven't gotten around to reading, but I did partially buy it because it's a pretty edition of the book. Being real, I bought it because it was pretty, and I've always loved the movie. When I was younger, I used to watch it every time I got sick, so I just thought it'd be nice to have a copy of it, and of course I would like to read it. I believe for the Buzzwordathon there is a month where you need to read a book that has a title or a name in the title, and this has princess in it, so I'll probably read this whatever that month is. Anyway, that is everything on my TBR for 2021. Give me a thumbs up, comment if you want me to do like a monthly vlog of books that I've bought, read, or whatever. I might not do monthly, maybe I'll do quarterly because there'll be more going on. I don't tend to buy a ton of books during the year. I mostly get them as gifts, or if there's a series that I'm currently reading, and there's a new book that comes out, I'll buy it, or if I need something specific for a readathon and I don't already have something on my TBR, I will read it. Anyway, let me know if you'd like to see that, if that's interesting to you at all, and subscribe if you haven't already. I see that like only 95% or only 5% of my views come from people that are actually subscribed, and 95% are from people that are not subscribed. So if you've been watching my videos but you haven't subscribed, and I know that I'm guilty of doing that as well, I find people I really love and I watch their videos and then I just forget to subscribe. But if you have not subscribed and you like my videos, go ahead and do it. Click that little button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!